breath and walked in step by step. The campus was overgrown with weeds. The windows of the teaching building were dark holes, like ferocious eyes. The air was filled with a damp, musty smell and a faint smell of blood. "Shen King, where are you?" My soft voice echoed in the empty campus. There was no response, only the rustling of leaves in the wind, like the whisper of ghosts. When I arrived at the teaching building, I suddenly heard the sound of a piano coming from the second floor. The music was melodious, but carried a trace of sadness. It was the conspiracy song I had listened to when I put headphones on Liu King in the dungeon. My eyes lit up and I quickly ran up to the second floor. The piano music came from a classroom. I pushed open the door and saw familiar Shen King sat at the piano. I shouted excitedly, I exclaimed. His face was still pale and handsome, but there was a faint sadness in his eyes. "You're really here?" I walked quickly to him, my eyes slightly red. "Didn't you say we would meet in the real world? Why are you here?" Shen King smiled bitterly and reached out his hand, but I found that his palm was somewhat transparent. "I'm not truly alive. After you cleared the dungeon last time, I should have dissipated, but because of the words you left in the basement, I also like you. A certain cause and effect occurred, allowing me to retain a trace of my soul. This dungeon is the passage connecting the real world and the strange world, and it's also the only place where I can temporarily form a physical body." I froze, reaching out to gently touch his palm. A cold touch came from behind me. "What should we do now? Can you exist like this forever?" Shen King shook his head. "The energy of this dungeon is extremely unstable. If I can truly rest in peace, or find a way to live again, we need to clear this dungeon, and find the truth hidden behind it." Just then, a cold electronic voice sounded, welcoming players to enter the A-level dungeon, the secret of the old school building. The quest involves investigating the truth behind the abandoned old school building, finding the forbidden musical score and the soul vessel, and completing the mission within 3 days. Currently, there are 5 players. At this moment, 3 people walk into the classroom, but they look haggard and their eyes are filled with fear. It's Shen King. Isn't he the dungeon boss? Whatever his identity, this woman with the boss must be plotting something to harm us. Another short-haired girl looks at me warily, frowning. Before I can explain, Shen King steps forward and shields me behind him. "I won't hurt anyone," he says coldly. "Our goal is to clear the dungeon and find the truth. If you're willing to cooperate, I can provide assistance. If not, please don't." The 3 players, intimidated by Shen King's imposing presence, dared not say another word. They all knew that Shen King, as a former dungeon boss, must have some understanding of the dungeon's rules and mysteries. Cooperating with him would greatly increase their chances of clearing the dungeon. "So what should we do now?" they asked. The reason the old school building is abandoned must be related to the eerie atmosphere. According to the dungeon's hands, we need to find the forbidden musical score and the soul container. The piano sound is a clue. Let's start our investigation from the music classroom. Everyone nodded and followed behind Shen King. The lights in the corridor flickered, and occasionally, the sounds of crying and laughter could be heard coming from the classroom, sending chills down their spines. The short-haired girl couldn't help but ask, her voice trembling slightly. "What happened here?" "I heard that, over a decade ago, Su Wongking, the music teacher at this school, died in the music room after a heartbreak. Before he died, he kept playing a piece of his own composition, a forbidden piece.